Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For the grade learners, how are you today? I hope that you all are doing well. Welcome to Math with Miss Amani from Al-Afaq International School, Jeddah Virtual Learning Classroom. We are going to take the second lesson from topic 14, number rules, instructions. Listen to the lesson's explanations. Open your book on page 741. Check your answers. Raise your hand if you have a question. Our standard for operation and algebraic thinking. C.5 generate a number or shape pattern that follows a given rule. Identify apparent features of the pattern that weren't explicit. Our objectives are 1. Use a rule to extend a number pattern and solve a problem. Second, identify features of the pattern. As we talked in the first lesson in this topic, the meaning of the pattern rule. A rule here is a mathematical operation to describe the relationship between consecutive numbers in the pattern. As we saw in the previous lesson, if the numbers are growing up or are increasing, we can use here which mathematical operation we can use addition. So we can express here the pattern if it is growing up, if it is increasing by using add. What about if the numbers or the relationship between the numbers are decreasing? So here we can express the pattern rule by using subtract. But the meaning here of the rule is a mathematical operation. It means here any operation from the mathematics. So we can use also addition and multiplication here and division. With me here in this question, I ask you, find, find out the rule, then complete the table, then describe the feature of the pattern. In this table, as you see, we have number of cars, total number of wheels. 1, the relationship between the number of cars and the total number of wheels. 1 B4, here 2 B8, 3 B12. Of course, the numbers are increasing. Can we use here add? Check with me to know the relationship between the number of the cars and the total number of the wheels. 1 B4 if you add 3, 2 B8 if you add 6, 3 B12 if you add 9. Can you use this as a rule? Of course not. But here, which here operation we can use it if the number also are increasing? We can use also multiplication operation. 1b4 if you multiply by 4. So here we can use here also if the number are increasing, we can use here multiplication operation to describe here the pattern rule. 1b4 if you multiply by 4. So with me here 1b4 if I multiply here by 4. Can you use the same rule to find here the second? 2b8 also if you multiply it by 4. So here also multiply it by 4. What about 3? Also here you multiply by 4. So we can use here multiplication operation to describe this pattern rule by multiply by 4. So here we can see the pattern here is multiplied by 4. The rule here multiplied by 4. Then he asked me, complete the table. We can follow the same rule to complete here the table. What about here 4? Of course, what multiplied by 4 will be here 16. The same rule follow it here. 5 multiplied by 4 will be here 20. So, as we know before, we can use addition here, operation, to describe the rule if the numbers are increasing. Also here we can use multiplication to describe the relationship between the numbers if the numbers also are increasing. Then he asked me what? Describe the feature of the pattern. You can describe if you take care from the number of the wheels. We have here 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. You can describe them as what? The number of the wheels is a multiple of 4. As you see here, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. All of them are representing products of 4 or multiples of 4. With me here in the second example, this table is expressing for me total number of days and here number of weeks. 7 days, it means here 1 week, 14 days, 2 weeks, 21 days, here 3 weeks. What's the relationship between the number of the days and the number of the weeks? As you notice here, the numbers here are decreasing. If the number are decreasing, okay, I remember, if the number are decreasing, I have to use here subtraction. What about here if you want to check this rule by using subtraction? 7b1 if you subtract 6, 14b2 if you subtract 12, 21b3 if you subtract 18. So we can't use here subtraction as a rule. What about here? Is there any operation we can use it to describe here the numbers or the relationship between the numbers if they are decreasing? Of course, yes. Which operation? We can use here division operation. 7b1 if you divide it by 7. 7b1 if I divide here 7 by 7. If I divide it here by 7, I can get 1 from 7 divided by 7. And here, what are the relation between 14 and 2? If you use also the same rule, you can find 2. So here, 14 divided by 7 also, we can find it 2. So here divided by 7. What about here 21? Also here, if you use the same rule, divided by 7, you will get 3. So the pattern rule here, it doesn't use subtraction to find here the relationship between the numbers, but we are here going to use what? Division operation. So also here, if the relationship between the numbers are decreasing, we can submit it by using here division. We can describe it by using division. So here, also here, divided by 7 will be 3. So here, the pattern here or the rule here will be divide by 7. Then he asked me what? If you found out the rule, complete the table. So I have to follow the same rule to complete the table. 28 divided by 7 will be here 4. 23, sorry, here 35 divided by 7 will be here 5. So by following here the same rule, I can complete the table. Then he asked me describe the feature of the pattern. We can say the number of the days is a multiple of 7. As you see here, we have 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. All of them are representing the multiples of 7. With me in the book, on page, as we said, 741, first question. The rule for this table is multiply by 4. What number doesn't belong? As you see, the rule multiple of 4 or multiple by 4. So here, 1 multiplied by 4 is 4. 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16, not 15. So here, which number here it doesn't belong to the others will be here what? 16. So I have to determine here 15 because it should be what? 16. What about here the second question? Describe the feature first, complete the table, then describe a feature of the pattern. The rule here, take care, is divide by 4. Total number of the wheels, and here number of cars. As you see here, number of the wheels, if they are 8, the number of the cars will be 2. From where I got 2? By dividing 8 by 4 by using this rule. If I have 12 wheels, I have here 3 cars. Again, from where? I got here 3 from 12. By following here the same rule, 12 divided by 4 will be 3. Also here, 16 divided by 4 will be 4. We have here to follow the same rule to fill the table. 20 here divided by 4 will be here, of course, 5. Then he told me what? Then describe a feature of the pattern. Look at this table to describe it. If you take the number of the wheels, we have 8, 12, 16, 20. All of them are representing here multiple of 4. So we can say the number of the wheels is a multiple of 4. With me in the same page down? Number 3, for 3 to 6, use the rule to complete each table. Describe a feature of each pattern. Number 3, the rule is multiply by 8. So the relationship between the number here by using this rule, multiply by 8. Number of spiders and the number of legs. If I have one spider, number of legs will be 8. Two spider by using here the same rule, multiply by 8. So he asked me to use the rule to complete the table. So here, follow this rule to complete the table. Take the number of spiders and multiply it by 8 to get here the number of the legs. So here you have to follow the rule here. Let me change the color to be appear. Okay, here I follow here, I have to follow the same rule, multiply by 8. So to fill the table, 2 multiplied by 8, of course, will be 16. So here 3 multiplied by 8 is 24, 4 multiplied by 8 is 32, and here what about here 5? 5 to fill here the table by using 5 number of a spider, I have to multiply it by 8 to get here what? 40. So to complete the table, just we have to follow the rule. What about here if I want to describe a feature of this pattern? We can look at the number of the legs. We have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. As you see here, all of them are multiples of 8. So we can describe this pattern. In this table, the number of the legs is a multiple of 8. Number 4. The rule here is divide by 5. So we have to follow this rule to complete here the table. Take the number of fingers, and to get here the number of hands, we have to follow the rule, divide by 5. As you see here, 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. What about here if I want to complete the table by following here the same rule, dividing by 5. So here 15 dividing by 5 will be here what? 3. And here 20 divided by 5 will be, of course, what? 4. And as you know here, there is point, I have to complete it. I want here to describe a feature of this pattern. So here we have to look at number of fingers or number of hands and describe them. As you see here, it is what? If you take the description from the number of the fingers, you can say the number of the fingers is a multiple of 5. What about here number 16? The rule here, multiply by 16. Number of box, weight of box in ounces. Each one box has 16 ounces. 2 box, multiply this 2. Follow the same here rule, multiply by 16. 2 multiplied by 16 will be 32. What about here? 3 box, multiply the 3 by 16. You will get here, of course, what? 48. The same rule here, 4 multiplied by 16, you will get here 64. So it is easy for us to follow here the rule and fill the table. What about here the description for this table? So here we can use, if we look at the weight of box in ounces, we have 16, 32, 48, 64. we can say the number of weight of box is what? A multiple of 16. As you see here, 116 is 16, 2 16, 32, 3 16, 48, 4 16, 64. So we can say the number of the weight of box is a multiple of 16. Last one, number 6. The rule here, divide by 2. So I take the number of the shoes and I divide it by 2 to get here the number of pairs. As you see here, 12 divided by 2 is 6, 14 divided by 2 is 7, 16 divided by 2, of course, it is what? Yeah, it is 8. And here, 18 divided by 2 will be 9. Just I follow the rule. Then describe a feature of each pattern. So here, to describe this pattern, we can look at the number of the shoes, and as you see, all of them are even. Also here, you can say the number of shoes also, all of them, if they are even, all of them are what? Multiple of 2. You can use any one. So here you can write here the number of shoes is even. Thank you so much.